people who didn't receive financial education as a child, more likely to be unemployed, more likely to be earning less today than those who did receive education. And this one really shook me. 40% of them said they have absolutely no savings at all.
So we've recently published a white paper called Financial Education, Are Parents Equipped to Fill the Gap? And this came about because we found out that 2 in 3 young people are taking financial advice from their parents because they don't feel they're getting a meaningful education from school. We've all sort of been through this cycle of not really having financial education as part of our lives. I personally don't remember much at school. My parents did a good job, but also we weren't always talking about money. I wasn't kind of involved in some of the money decisions. So you then, that kind of perpetuates into, well, I was never taught it, so how can I teach it?
Research from Cambridge University shows that children form their attitudes and habits towards money from the age of 7. And, those are ideas and attitudes, habits that then set the path for so many decisions in their life. And so that's why financial inclusion, making sure we're including kids that young, and education is so important.
My experience when it came to learning about money when I was growing up was quite minimal. Now that I look back on it, I realise how little we are taught about finances in school and at university. So I actually studied business management at university, and even myself still had little education on how to manage my personal finances.
It's not a standalone subject for school, so most of the time money education is sort of attached to other things like maths or business. And to be honest, they're overstretched with everything they need to achieve, so it's not necessarily the highest priority.
In 2014, the UK government made financial education compulsory in the UK curriculum, in the UK secondary curriculum. And I can remember at the time thinking, hallelujah, this is fantastic. Now we're a few years on, I'm a lot wiser about it. For one, there are only about 20% of schools in the UK are required to follow the curriculum, because most of them are academies and they are free to step away from the curriculum if they wish to. It really depends which school you go to, which part of the country you're in, whether you get any financial education in secondary school at all.
I feel like we're not taught about finances in school because, one, I don't think teachers sadly have enough time to teach it in the curriculum, and also if we're not taught money in schools at a younger age, then it's really hard to expect teachers to also have that knowledge as well.
I think financial education is the key to levelling up. The more that you give someone knowledge and the tools to be able to understand the world around them, the better it is. I think from this white paper we've kind of apparent that those who didn't receive financial education when they were younger are more likely to be unemployed or in a lower paying job than others that did. And then there's also then the decisions of once you're in a job and in the workplace, do you invest? Do you pay towards your pension? Are you saving towards a house? All those really difficult choices which affect our overall financial health. It's difficult to understand if you haven't had the basis and financial education as a child.
We need to be teaching our kids to balance a budget, to understand what credit is and credit risks. You think about buy now, pay later that didn't exist 5 years ago and is now so prevalent kind of on every checkout basket you go through. It is not the role of one part of the company, part of society. We all need to work together. It's parents, it's schools, it's government, it's industry. Everybody has a part to play, and everybody can do something to support making sure that everyone, no matter their background, the country they live in, which school they go to, has access to financial education from a really early age.
I hope to see some collective movement. I think there are people speaking loudly and there's a focus on it, but really you need a collaboration between the government, schools, as I said, parents, businesses, volunteer organisations. It's just there needs to be some sort of leadership that brings it together and make a real-world practical application programme.
Those who said they did receive financial education as a child 46% more likely to start a business. And if you just take that one stat, that would add 123,000 new jobs to the UK economy every year. You know, that's a huge change all by itself.